Welcome to Reads and Threads. My name's Kate. Hello if you're new here. Welcome back if you're joining us again. Today I am super excited. I have put together a new TBR. I'm ready to get into it, and we're going to be going over a new yearly challenge put together by Cassidy over with Covers with Cassidy, and that is the Romantasy Bingo. I'm going to link her original announcement down below so you can check that out. We're going to run through the bingo board, look at the books that I've picked, and if you have any suggestions, please let me know. There are a couple of squares that I'm struggling with. We're going to go into all the details. So let's have a look at my new challenge, Romantasy Bingo. So in the vein of our fantasy bingo, which is by the Reddit community, Cassidy has put together Romantasy Bingo. So it does run fairly similar. So if you are familiar with our fantasy bingo, there is an easy mode and a hard mode, and then a 25 space bingo board. The idea generally is to get a full blackout, so do every single square on the bingo board. What Cassidy has put together though, she has said you could just aim to do a single line and count that as a win and an achievement. I am, of course, going to attempt to black out the bingo board, and I'm going to attempt to do it in hard mode. There are two versions of the prompt. So for easy mode, you're just using the base one, and then there's an extra prompt for hard mode. I'll run through the easy and hard prompt modes for each square. This is what the bingo board currently looks like. Love the colors and the design, and just really happy that I can, one, do another yearly challenge to add in. I am really enjoying the ones that I am doing. So this one runs from the 1st of November, so it has technically already started when I am putting this together, and it will end on the 31st of October in 2026. Along with Cassidy's announcement video, where she runs through a few recommendations for a lot of the prompts, she has also put together her TBR of the books that she is planning on looking at. I will also link down below Mel from Mel Lenore Reads. She's put together her TBR for this challenge, and so has Bree from Paws in a book. So they're the only three that I've seen that actually have challenges out. I am very eager to find some other channels and watch their TBRs to see if I can get any ideas for any of the prompts. I may consider swapping out some of the books that I have allocated for the prompts that I have. And also, if I turn out not to like one of the books that I've picked, I would love a backup book to slot into those squares. So like I said earlier, any recommendations for any of the prompts, leave them down below. I would love as many as I can get, even just to know what good books to read. That would be awesome. I'll go through each row, the book that I have currently slotted in, and then at the end I'll show you an overall look at how my board is looking at the moment. The books I'm going to show you are a mixture of books that I own, other books that I've got from the library. One of the books I'm going to mention I have accessed on Kindle Unlimited, so there's a range of places where I'm going to be sourcing the books that I will be reading for this challenge. And even though I do have a lot of them right now, I don't think I'm necessarily going to be getting to reading them super soon, though I would love to get on top of as many as I can, and I'm super eager to read all of the books that I have added to this list. Okay, let's start with square one, row one. This one is new release, so it needs to be published in the year that you read it. For the easy mode, so whatever new release that I end up picking, I haven't actually slotted one in for this square yet. I need to read it in whatever year it comes out in, whether that is 2025 or 2026. I do have a couple that I am eager to read in the next couple of months, but whether I use them for this prompt, we will see. The hard mode for this prompt is that it needs to be a debut author. I think I could possibly read something like To Cage a Wild Bird. I'm super eager to get to that one. That may be one that I manage to get to before the end of the year. But if I don't, I will just look out for a 2026 book to fit into this square. I'm pretty confident that this one's going to be fairly easy to complete. The next square along, we have Hidden Identity, and the hard mode for this, that they are not royalty. I did have a look around as well as watching, like I said, Cassidy, Brie and Mel's videos. And I have decided to go with A Court This Cruel and Lovely by Stacia Stark. I don't know anything about this book other than I had already had my eye on it. I've already borrowed this one from the library. It sounded interesting, but I don't remember the synopsis. I kind of want to go into it a bit blind, and I'm just hoping that whichever TBR I got this off of or recommendation video, it is correct, that it does have someone who is hiding their identity and that they aren't royals. We will see. The next square along is Take Down the System, and this one needs to have the plot revolving around rebellions and revolutions. And then the hard mode for this is that it is a dystopian setting. So for this one, Cassidy did say that this was the book that she thought of specifically when she was coming up with this prompt, and I still haven't read it, so it worked out perfectly. I am super eager to get to it, and that is Silver Elite by Danny Francis. This has been huge all over Book Talk and BookTube, and I love the edition that I managed to get just with the blue edges, and it's kind of shimmery. I just really happy with it. So I'm hoping to get a matching one of the second book when it comes out, but I would really like to read this before that happens, and I know that it is coming out soon. One of my friends keeps asking me if I've read it yet, so this is working out perfectly. Next up we have BIPOC author, and the hard mode for this is that there needed to be flowers on the cover. I was attempting when I was putting together my TBR for this to not double it up with books that I had in for our fantasy bingo, just to make it a bit more interesting, that I didn't want all the books to match. And so this is the only prompt where I haven't been able to come across another option than the one I'm about to show you. Definitely, if you have recommendations of BIPOC authors that have flowers on the cover, I would love to know, so feel free to leave them all below. And I will already be reading this one for our fantasy bingo and for Hercat, and that is This Woven Kingdom by Tahar Murphy. I am really eager to get to this one. I've heard really good things about it. It wouldn't be a problem if I did ended up using this for this challenge as well, but I would like to broaden my reading as much as I can. So any other recommendations, that would be great. But at the moment, this is the book that is going in for BIPOC author. And then the last one that we have on the first row is First Person. And the hard mode is that it's a new to you author. This one is definitely new to me. I haven't gotten around to it. I've heard such good things about this series, and I have just managed to get my hands on the special edition in the paperback, and that is Spark of the Everflame by Pen Cole. I love the sprayed edges on this one and the fact that it's sprayed edge paperback. I have heard awesome things about this whole series. So I really want to see if it's a series for me. And I thought that this was just a great way to give this one a go. I am hoping it is in first person. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it is. I'm pretty sure I found it either on the Storygraph options or who knows. But either way, this is the one that I am going to be adding in for that prompt. For row 2, we start off with Blank of Blank. So it's exactly what you think. It needs to be something of something. There's a heap of these books around. A lot of the time it's like a 3-word one, but this one is just something of something. And then the hard mode for this is Not Fae. I'm fairly sure this counts for hard mode, so please let me know if it doesn't. Again, I haven't read it. I have originally read the synopsis, but I don't remember it. The one that I'm putting in for this is Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. Both my sister and a friend from work have already read this one, really enjoyed their time with it, and I have been dying to pick it up since it came out and I started hearing about it. So super eager to get to this one, and as you can see, Shield of Sparrows, so Blank of Blank. It works perfectly, and I'm so glad that I was able to get this one on this list. The next one is Indie to Trad Pipeline. It's a book or series where the first one or even a couple of the first few were published in indie before they were picked up traditionally. So the hard mode though is to read the sequel. The sequel didn't have to be published independently. It could have come out traditionally published, but the first one definitely did. So the book that I am going to be popping in for this one is the second book in the Artifacts of Uranus series by Nisha J. Tooley, and that is called Rule of the Aurora Queen. In saying that though, I haven't read the first one. So before I get to that one, I do need to read Trial of the Sun Queen. If for some reason I don't like Trial of the Sun Queen, I will obviously be swapping this prompt out because I do want to complete it in hard mode. I do have other options. This was just the one I decided to go with. And hopefully I really enjoy it. I have heard great things about this quartet and have really been eager to get my hands on it. I think since I saw Katherine Heigl talking about it originally. So hopefully book 2 will be the one that completes this prompt, but I do need to read book 1 first. Next up is the prompt that I need the most help with. It is called Rep Matters, and it says a book that has some sort of representation, and then the hard mode is own voices for that rep. So what Cassidy meant by this is that generally the main character needs to have some form of representation. So think Fourth Wing. Violet has like brittle bone disease. I don't remember what the disease is called. I'll pop it along the screen. But so does Rebecca Yarros. The author is repping their own experiences within that book and their own disability, if it's a disability rep, that kind of thing. So I've already read Fourth Wing, otherwise it would use that. But yeah, if you know any other options, I would love to know. I'm hoping that it will just come along ornately, that I might read a book and realize this one works perfectly for this prompt, but I would like to kind of slot something in to keep my eye out for, either at the library or for purchasing. I'm going to continue to watch more recommendation videos and that kind of stuff on YouTube. And hopefully I can find some more TBRs for bingo and looking at the story graph, but please let me know any that you think would work for this square. Next up, we have Start a New Series, and the hard mode is that the author writes in multiple genres. So for this one, I have 2 current options that I'm looking for. I can't decide. I want to read them both. We've got, first off, A Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden, and she also writes, I think it's romance books. And then I have The Bell Witches by Lindsay Kelk, and again, she has written a lot of contemporary romance or romance books as well. So either of those would definitely work to fit this prompt, as well as a lot of other authors that I have already got on my TBR I want to read list. But for now, these 2 are the highest probably on my want to read list that will fit this prompt. The next square is urban setting, and the hard mode is a secondary world, so the city is not set in our world. For this one is a book series that I had never heard of before I started watching YouTube, and they have definitely made me want to read it. I did end up picking up the hardback for this one a couple of weeks ago when I was book shopping, and that is City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards. I do really love the cover, and I love how all the spines on, I think the 3 or 4 books that are out at the moment are a different color. So like there's red, yellow, blue. I'm hoping that I really like this one. I did only pick up the first one just to give it a go before I get the other ones, but this is the first book in the House of Devils series, and I've just heard really good things about it and want to know more. Okay, on to row 3. We have Ghosts and Ghouls, and the hard mode for this is the love interest is one. So for Ghosts and Ghouls, Cassidy was going for Ghosts and Demons. I really think a good one for this would have been For Whom the Bell Tolls by J.C. Lynn. I read that last month and absolutely loved it. She ends up falling in love with a demon in that one. It is such a good time. Highly recommend the audio if you haven't read that one already for this prompt. But because I already had, I obviously couldn't use it. But there is another one that I've been hearing so much about and had to pick it up, and that is Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. I just think this one sounds like a lot of fun. I love trials, all that kind of stuff, and been really eager to see what, again, Cassidy and Mel and all of the others love about it so much. They have just made me want to read so many books that my TBR is exploding, and I'm so glad that I was able to add this in for one of the prompts and finally get to reading it. For the next prompt, we have A Voice Inside Your Head, and the hard mode is that it's not an animal companion. I have again just finished books that would have been perfect for this, and that was the Shepherd King duology, so One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. I had a great time with them. They are by Rachel Gillig. Definitely recommend picking those ones up if you haven't read them. But I'm going to try the next series. I have bought the first two and have been eager to give this author a go, and that is Lady of Darkness by Melissa K. Roerich. I have heard a lot about this series, and I also have the first in her spin-off series for this world, Reign of Shadows and Endings, are all set in the same world. So really want to know if Melissa K. Roerich is an author for me. And yeah, just really eager to pick it up and see if I like it. I love this cover. I think it's so pretty. The blue is just, it's so pretty. Anyway, the next one is Friend-wreck, and the hard mode is that Cassidy has recommended it on her channel. That was super eager. The majority of the books that I'm mentioning today, she has already talked about. And one of the authors that I had never heard of is actually an Australian author before I started watching Cassidy's channel, and that is J. Bree. So I thought for this book I would give a go Broken Bonds by J. Bree. This is the first in the Bonds That Tie series. I have read another J. Bree book since then. This would also be my first foray into trying wide shoes. I do think I can get behind that as a genre. I do prefer when there's not a love triangle or that kind of thing. I think there's like 4 or 5 guys in this one, so it will be interesting. But love, again, this cover. It's so cool, and just really eager to see if this one is for me. Next up, we have Book Talk Hype. And this one is one that you've just seen hyped up all over Book Talk. I don't have TikTok. Well, I do have it. I just don't look at it. I predominantly am going to get my hype either from BookTube or Instagram. And funnily enough, this is one that Mel has only just talked about in her last video. And the hard mode for this is that it is still indie at the time of you reading it. So I am hoping to get to this one fairly soon, because who knows these days, books are getting picked up so quickly. But as far as I'm aware, this is still indie, and I have already had it checked out on my Kindle Unlimited, and hearing about it in Mel's latest video, it just reminded me that I already had a copy, so I thought it just worked perfectly. And that is Kissed by the Gods by Katie Brogan. Again, I don't know a huge amount about this book. I don't want to know a huge amount about it. I just want to go into it kind of blind and hope that I can get to it before it is picked up traditionally. So this one will probably be one of the ones that I read first for this challenge. But we'll see how we go. Hopefully I am lucky. Otherwise, any other book recommendations you have down below, and hopefully I can get to one of them before they're picked up traditionally. The last prompt on row 3 is Forbidden Romance, and the hard mode is that it's not enemies to lovers. Now that made it slightly difficult. I looked at all the books that the others were reading, and I was like, oh, I don't know, what should I read? So I did do a bit of Google searching, and I don't know if this one exactly fits. I think it does. But if you've read it and you can tell me if they are enemies to lovers or not, that would be awesome. But I am going to pop in here A Forbidden Alchemy by Stacey McEwen. I really like the sprayed edges and design, and I thought that the premise and plot sounded awesome when I heard about it before it came out. That I just really want to see if Stacey McEwen is an author for me. I'm really loving the colors and the design of this book. So super eager to get to it, and I'm hoping it just fits for this prompt perfectly. Like I said, if it doesn't, let me know. Row 4. The first prompt is Trials, and the hard mode is that it's an academic setting. Again, I have a book that I've had on my want to read list since it came out, and that is Arcana Academy by Elise Cover. Again, this is another new author for me, and a book that I've just been eager to try. It sounds like a really cool magic system with tarot cards and that kind of stuff. So similar, I guess, to One Dark Window in the card sense, but I think it's going to be fairly different from anything I've read before as well, hopefully. It is a little chunky, so hoping that it is a fast-paced read, but definitely an academic setting. Next up, we have two love interests, and the hard mode is that it's not a love triangle. At one point, I did have Broken Bonds popped in for this square, and there are probably other Why Choose books that I can use for it if I do end up liking that as a genre. But at the moment, I've popped in Tonight I Burn by Catherine J. Adams. I saw the second book in this series on the shelf at the shop once and picked it up to have a read of the back and was really intrigued. And so obviously I need to read the first book first. Hoping that I really like this one, I will probably pick this one up from the library. Next up, we have a Single POV, and the hard mode for this is that it had to be published over 5 years ago. This book is a series that I've heard so many good things about. It's an author I have been super eager to try and still haven't managed to get around to, and that is The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen. I have so many of her books on my to-read list, it's not funny. But really loving the new covers and just really want to give it a go. It's just so pretty, and again, starting another series because I don't have enough already on the go, but really do think that this one is going to be a good pick. Next up, we have Court Setting, and the hard mode for this is that there was an animal on the cover. This one, I think, did come up in one of the recommendation videos that I saw, and I had been hearing about it a little bit about on BookTube, so I had been intrigued. I'm just a little worried that it may be too dark for me, but I'm gonna give it a go, see how we go. And that is Feathers So Vicious by Liv Zander. I don't tend to be someone that has a whole heap of triggers when it comes to my reading. I do get the ick sometimes from some stuff, but I'm hoping that this one will be good. And I think it's only a duology, so if I do like it, not too many to go on with in the end. Last in this row, we have A Whole New World, where the main character is transported to somewhere else, aka portal fantasy. And the hard mode is that this is a retelling or a reimagining. For this one, I'm going to pick up Bonded by Thorns by Elizabeth Helen. I have seen this author at a cave at the beginning of the year and was super intrigued by the book. I think I've heard Cassidy and Mel all talk about it. So again, wanted to give it a go. I think this might be, is this another Why Choose as well? Possibly, but really loving the covers that Cassidy has on her books. I think that might have been a Fairy Loot edition. I do like this cover, it is pretty. This is another one that I've just borrowed from the library, so hoping to get that one fairly soon so I can get that back, and hoping I like it because I think, again, it's another series. But can you have too many of those, really? Hey, and the last row, we start with Reluctant Allies to Lovers, and the hard mode is that it's a marriage of convenience. I think Cassidy said that she had thought of this prompt for this book specifically, but she'd already read it, so she obviously couldn't use it. I, however, have not read it, so I am just going to slot that one in, and that is House of Bane and Blood by Alexis L. Menard. It sounded really intriguing. I love the cover. Hopefully I'll be able to get my hands on this one fairly easy and give that one a go. Next up, we have One Word Title, and the hard mode is that it's gothic. There are a few that I could have put in for this one, but one I recently picked up in a little shopping spree that I did was Anathema by Kerry Lake. I love the cover. I think it's super cool and spooky. I have since then seen a special edition that looks really pretty of this as well. And then I think this again is just a duology. Super eager to get to this one and see if I like Kerry Lake as an author. Next up, we have Shift of Romance, and the hard mode is that it is not wolves. I have gone with probably like a fair few people, and I'm diving into some dragon shifters with Serpents of Sky and Flame by Rebecca F. Kenny. This was the first book that I got in my Bookish and Spice book box, and it is a lovely edition with gorgeous sprayed edges. And I just want to see, I think I actually might turn the cover over, like, it's so pretty. But I just want to see if I really enjoy this and start reading some of my book box books would be great. That's the one I'm going to pop in for this. I'm just hoping it's not too romance. Second to last, we have weapon on the cover, and the hard mode is that there is a powerless main character. This book is perfect for this prompt, and that is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I haven't ever gotten around to reading this series, though I do own all except for the new novella in these deluxe hardbacks. So would really like to know if this is a series for me. I do, again, love the editions. I love the covers. The naked hardcovers on these books are spectacular. I just am really eager to get to this one and give it a go. Last but not least, we have a chunky series. And this is a series that has 4 or more books. And the hard mode is that it is a series that interconnects with another. And this series I have been very eager to get to. It's by one of my new favorite authors, Helen Schurer. It definitely interconnects. And the only 2 series of hers that I haven't gotten around to getting to, and that is Blood and Steel, which is the first in the Legends of Thesma series. I have purchased from Bookish and Spice these gorgeous editions of all 4, which are generally up above me in my bookshelves, but I do also have the paperbacks, which I got when I went to Babe in May, and I met Helen and she was lovely. And these ones are all signed in the front, which is just great. I have really enjoyed her teen series that I have read, which was The Curse of the Siren Queen and the Oromir Chronicles, and I'm just hoping these ones aren't too spicy for me, but I've heard such good things about it, and I just really want to see what I think myself. But I am loving her writing style. I do love, like, even the art in all of these copies are so pretty. And yeah, I'm hoping I love them as much. And these ones do interconnect with the Ashes of Thesma, which is the new trilogy that Helen has recently bought out. And I do have the first one in that series in a special edition as well, along with the second one in that series coming. So that is my TBR. It's currently looking like this. I'm really happy at the moment with the books that I've picked. Like I said, if I try one and I don't end up liking it, I would love as many recommendations as you could give me down below so that I have the ability to swap it out fairly easily. If you have listened to any of these on audio and you think that their audios are really good, I would love to know which ones that maybe I should prioritize audio wise over reading with my eyeballs. Again, the other way, if there's one that really doesn't work on audio and you're like, no, Kate, definitely physically read that one, let me know. Having the option as well to jump backwards and forwards is always handy too. Love any suggestions. Like I said, I am on the lookout for other TBR videos in relation to Romantasy Bingo. So if you do know any, feel free to link them down below, share them with me, DM me about them. I would love to hear. And hopefully I can black out the board by October next year. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, please think about subscribing. And if you would like to follow me over on Instagram, Storygraph, or Goodreads, I have linked all those down below. I will have also linked Cassidy's, Bree's, Mel's channel. Please go check out their videos if you haven't already. Are you thinking now that you might try for Romantasy Bingo? If you are, let me know. I'd love to hear how you're going to end up going with it. I will put up videos as we go through the year in relation to how I am doing, if I've swapped any of the books out already, or if I've just managed to complete any. But keep an eye out for those, and I hope that wherever you are having a really wonderful day. So we'll see you next time. Bye.